What's up, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between?
Good morning. It's a brisk morning for us. It's 20 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. That's nice.
Yeah, it in fact is pretty cold. I feel it in my house. That's how I know it's cold.
Hmm.
And uh, we had hurricane winds last night in the middle of the
Yeah,
fucking U.S. That's cool.
there was also a tornado, so that's fun.
Mm.
Good stuff. And yeah, yeah. I have concrete floors, so when I get out of bed in the morning, put
Mm.
my bare ass feet on the floor, my feet just like get instant frostbite. It's cold.
Cold piggly wigglies, huh?
Mm.
Oh my goodness, dude. We had a tornado touchdown. You were telling me earlier.
Yeah, just south of us, I think. It's pretty close.
Yeah, man, living in the Midwest is fucking dope. You get fear of
Mm.
flooding, fear of tornadoes, fear of cyclones, fear of fucking hurricane winds. If we were closer to the Great Lakes, we would experience a tsunami, but we're not. If you live in Gary, Indiana, though, you're fucked. Uh,
Mm. I hear Gary's doing better.
I wouldn't know. They're definitely in the storm's path. If they didn't get it yesterday, they're definitely getting it this morning. Um, it's still heckin' windy out there today too. Like
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, I keep hearing like wind shake my window that's right next to me. It's kind of hard to hear it over the hover boat going across the river though. That thing's really loud, but
They're trying to get some takeoff. That's what they're really out there for.
mm.
Just trying to hit that one wave and just you raise me up. Oh man, we were up late, and I think I was
Yeah.
unintentionally up later than Dylan because we got off at the same time, right? And then I laid down in bed, and I couldn't sleep, so I just fucked around like on my phone for a little bit, and yeah, I don't
Well,
think I actually went to sleep till like around 5.
yeah, that's definitely later than me because I did stay up a little later after I left because I was like halfway through Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, so I had to finish that.
I want
But
to watch that. I want to watch that so bad.
it's pretty good. It's very good animated film. I highly recommend.
Well, that's good to hear that it's good. I saw like all the previews on like TikTok and Instagram and on YouTube. That wolf character seems pretty chill, but there's also like a pug character who's played by um the actor in What We Do in the Shadows. It's the guy who plays Guillermo. Um
Hmm.
and that guy's just a really cute guy, and I like all the stuff they do. So, I'm interested in watching it. And yeah, man, I am tired. Holy shit. I had some coffee before I went to sleep and after I woke up. And I'm still just really kind of needing a snooze, but I'm not gonna cuz I've got that brain power, yo. Got that extraterrestrial will. What's up, Spooky? I know who you are. There's only one person that I sent an Instagram DM to regarding my Twitch information. Also, thanks for sticking with tradition and following off stream. That's
Yeah, got to make sure you do that. Can't follow on stream. That's against the rules. Make sure
uh,
you subscribe off stream as well.
yeah, that would be something. There's people just doing like gift subs out the fucking wazoo, just off stream, just straight up. Here's 20 gift subs. Oh man. But yeah, I'm also glad that we're all still here. I've been utilizing my basement. But that's like one thing I don't want to utilize my basement for. It's like an actual tornado. Luckily, I live in the middle of town, and the likelihood of a tornado dropping here is like pretty low. Not impossible, but pretty
Yeah,
low.
got too many hills, and we're right next to a river valley and stuff, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's
it'd be
pretty unlikely.
pretty tough to do so. You know what? Speaking of unlikely hoods of tornadoes dropping, I used to live in Marshall, Illinois. In fact, that's where I'm from originally. And there's actually some lore about Marshall, Illinois. You can Google this. You can look it up. I'm gonna snooze this ad real quick. Like that's my last snooze. But you can look this up, Marshall, Illinois. And what had happened is that there was a witch that visited Marshall back in the pioneer days. Okay, this is like when Marshall was first becoming a town. This witch was traveling and she went to Marshall in one of her travels, and she didn't have a place to stay. She didn't have food, no shelter, and stuff like that. So the people of Marshall gave her a place to stay, gave her food, all that good jazz. And so what she did is she blessed the town. And she said, as long as you keep being respectful to people of my kind and traveling with that, this town will stay protected from disasters. And yeah, so tornadoes don't touch down in Marshall, Illinois. It is a flat town. It is surrounded by cornfields. And I remember when I was a little kid and tornadoes all over the place were going down. And finally the tornado siren went off in Marshall. And so we went to my mom's friend's house. We're driving there. Car is like light because of the winds. She's struggling keeping it on the road and whatnot. And we get there and we're in the cellar, and all the adults are just on the porch talking and looking out at the cornfield, where a tornado is running parallel to the town in this cornfield, but it never went into the town itself. That is my only memory of a tornado in Marshall, Illinois, and it didn't even touch the town. It was close enough. You could see it, you could watch it, you could hear it, but it never. It didn't kill nobody. It didn't destroy any houses. All it did was destroy some crop, and farmers love that because that's insurance money. So there's a little bit of lore about Marshall, Illinois. Yeah, kind of scary stuff, tornadoes. I know my girlfriend is absolutely terrified of tornadoes. She doesn't like the idea of tornadoes. Tornado movies kind of scare her, like kind of freak her out a bit. She's from the coast, so she's like hurricanes. That's her deal. She's completely fine with it. Not completely fine, but like she can deal with a hurricane pretty okay. High winds, lots of rain, shit like that. The only thing that scares her more than tornadoes is tsunamis. And living on the coast, that's understandable. 200-foot wave coming at you. No shit.
Yeah. Yep. See the shoreline just kind of suck in before and see that bottom of the shoreline that you never see, and
Yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah, that was kind of what was it? Hurricane Ian, the shoreline and the Gulf of Mexico receded by like what was it? 5 miles or some shit like that? 20 miles? You remember that?
No, I don't. I wasn't there.
It was all over the news. You piece of shit. um, yeah, everyone thought there was going to be a tsunami hitting like Texas and Louisiana and junk like that. Never did. Never did. So, sometimes the lake, sometimes the shoreline just recedes during a hurricane. But yeah. Um, Speaking of scary things, let's talk about horror movies, dude. That's what my tag says today. It says we're talking about horror movies.
Hmm.
You watch a lot of those?
I watch a lot of bad horror movies. I don't usually go out of my way to watch the good ones because there's not a lot of them.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's really hard to find like compelling horror films, like stuff that I find like genuinely scary. And I don't count like gore horror as like a horror film that's scary. Those things are just
Mm.
over the top. They're like They're just there for that like that cringe factor, the type of stuff you're like, ugh, like kind of like John Wick.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of scenes like that in John Wick where you just kind of cringe at the sight.
Usually end up laughing my ass off at horror movies. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, what was it? Uh, See here, Friday the 13th is Jason. Halloween is Mike Myers. Uh, Me and if Spooky Lilac is who I think it is, me and Spooky Lilac went and watched one of the new Halloween movies last Halloween, and it sucked. It was bad. It was like a genuinely awful movie. Um, and like people were literally just walking out of the movie theater, like middle of the show, middle of the viewing. It was pretty not great. Um, and it sucks so much. Yeah, we were like, sorry that there's an ad about to play. Um, but it was like just me and Lilac, and we were chilling there, and there was, I think maybe two other groups, and the other two groups like eventually just left, probably about 45 minutes into the film. It was not a fun time at all. I mean, it was not an enjoyable movie. I guess we still had fun because we were just ripping on it the entire time. If the movie's bad and you're the only people in the theater, I think that's okay to do. Um, there was what am I trying to? Oh, dude, I just realized I don't have
Hmm?
our talkie things up here. Um, Dylan, talk about a horror movie for a second.
Uh, all right. So I believe there was another Halloween before the most recent one. That was kind of a reboot, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember when that came out, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was it wasn't super scary, but it wasn't bad. I don't think it was more of just a kind of more actiony than horror. I feel like that's the way a lot of the slasher films have gone with the protag getting guns and fighting the monster. But
Shit.
I'm trying to think. There was this recent horror movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it was so bad.
It wasn't like a Jordan Peele film, was it?
No. Uh, it was on Netflix, and it was something I never heard of before. God, I can't remember. It was so bad. I don't remember what it was called, but a bunch of kids, a bunch of like,
Oh, you're talking like it's the one with like the smiling lady, right?
Good morning indeed. You ready to get to
no,
work?
Oh shit. Sorry if you heard my Netflix in the background. I'm trying to look this up.
a bunch of like high school kids. I guess they're supposed to be high school kids. Um, go to a haunted house for the night for like some challenge or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
How?
and they slowly get picked off. And I think like at the way it ends was awful because like everyone dies and like the main character that lives gets trapped in like a mud puddle that's like super deep and then just
What?
like drowns in a really deep mud puddle next to the house. And that's all I really remember from it. And it was just so bad. It's like there's a lot of really bad horror movies. That was pretty up there in
I'm trying to find it. There's a movie called The Strange House. Um, there's someone inside. McConaughey and her friends at Osborne High School try to identify and stop a mass killer who's targeting students and exposing their biggest secrets. Is its thing. Um,
there wasn't a killer. It was the house itself that was
mm,
killing them. It was like a haunted house.
is it Monster House from Cartoon Network?
No.
gosh. Man, I wish Netflix shit was better on like, fucking showing me movies instead of like these are horror movies based on films and these are yada yada yada.
Hmm.
Um, this place is evil. Okay, this is probably a good place to start.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find that movie that you're talking about. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know if you'll find it because we dug pretty deep to find that one.
Um, high schoolers. Oh, I can type. Schoolers visit. Oh, I can't type. Visit haunted house. Netflix movie. The power of Google. Remember?
Um,
Six high
it was
schoolers
like
stuck in a murderous time loop must find the scattered remains of an unknown victim to break the
no.
curse. No.
Uh, it was like it's based on Truth or Dare. That's what it was. I don't remember because they go into the house and they start doing Truth or Dare, and and it's so dumb. They like draw cards and the cards will tell them to do something. Or if they say truth, they can say something or admit to something horrible that they did. And
It looks like it's just called Truth or Dare 2018.
I think that's probably it.
Olivia Barron, Lucas Morano.
That means nothing to me.
Their character names were Lucy Hale, Tyler Posey, Sophia Ali. I don't know.
I think that's it. But yeah, it was very weird to say the least. It was like some of the dares were gross. Like had to put their hand on a burner on a stove
Mmm.
while it was on and stuff like that, and like, oh man, it was gross.
Mmm. That's
There,
tasty.
there was a lot of stuff like that in that movie, but
Uh,
it was also very bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Most of them are. I haven't seen like a compelling, good, scary movie.
Hmm.
In a long time. I'm trying to find this one movie that like it was all over. It's like based off of a TikTok thing. Sorry, not based off of a TikTok thing. It's based off of like a meme. Um, that picture of like the girl's face that's like all grotesqued out and she's like pale and shit, and it's like, oh, she's gonna get you. Grim Cuddy. That's the movie I'm thinking of. Grim Cuddy. Um, that's on Hulu. That's why I
Hmm.
couldn't find it. And that's based on like a meme from way back when, and then it respawned on TikTok, and they're like, "Oh, let's make that into a movie." Yada yada yada. But yeah, last was really good horror that I saw was Hereditary. Never heard of it. Never heard of Hereditary. Um, have you?
I have heard of it. I haven't watched it. I don't think. Maybe I have watched parts of it. It was about like it was about a family and like one of the family members goes crazy or something and
Hmm.
kills everyone, if I remember. I'm not sure actually.
That just sounds like any possession movie.
Yeah, I guess I guess you could argue that's a lot of different horror movies, but
Yeah, can't explain it without ruining it. That's fine. Don't explain it. I'll maybe watch it once. Um, there's a lot of really crappy horror movies out there, man. I'm gonna go ahead and throw like all the Jigsaw movies in that category. I don't think any of the Jigsaw movies are very fucking good.
hmm.
In fact, I think the premise, sorry, not the premise, the kind of motivation or the continuation of plot in a lot of scary movies is pretty fucking ass. Like, oh, you're running. There's the door to the house. Oh, and you didn't go out the door. Well, oh, the door's locked. We'll break a window. Oh, you didn't break a window. You ran upstairs. Well, there you go, I guess. Um, So I don't know. Horror movies for the most part suck. I think the earliest horror movies that like really fucked with me to this day, even kind of. I really liked Haunt. A group of college students go to this fake haunted house in the middle of nowhere, and the haunted house actors are actual murderers. Oh shit, that's fucked up. Of course, you would be into a haunted house, like a haunted house movie where like they visit a fake haunted house. That's what you do. That's like your thing. You do fake haunted houses. You work there. Let me explain that a bit more. But a film series that like got me as a kid, and I think got a lot of people, was the Final Destination films.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like super well done, but like the likelihood of like a truck crashing and then like a log going through your windshield, that's that's pretty well believable. Dying on a roller coaster, pretty believable. Getting trapped in a tanning bed, maybe not so much. Uh, the train scene from I think that's from the very first Final Destination with Neil Patrick Harris. Like his car's stuck on the train track and his seatbelt won't unbuckle. What's going on, Kraft? Um, and like they get him out of the car and they're like, oh, we finally escaped fate. And then like the train runs over like a piece of metal, and then like the metal kind of shoots out as a saw blade and decapitates Neil Patrick Harris. Those movies kind of fucked me up for a while.
Yeah, I think they all kind of burned into the brains of most of our generation because, like, a lot of people have a fear of driving behind log trucks and stuff like that just because of that movie, I think.
Yeah.
Or those movies.
Oh man, but I think that's like the last one that really kind of fucked with me. The paranormal activity, those suck. I can't stand those movies. The faux documentary style shit. I can't
Can't
do
say
it.
I've ever watched those movies.
It's kind of like the Blair Witch trial style. Like it's recorded on like a camcorder and then like security footage cameras. Like it's not, the production value sucks, and it's like supposed to add to it. Yeah, the acting always sucks. What do you have here? Scream, Exorcist, Oculus, Saw, Chainsaw Massacre, Evil Dead, Rob Zombie films. I like Rob Zombie films because I like Rob Zombie. I like to see his creative process. The dude makes like gore horror, and they're all like, his movies are all like occult films, right? Like they're real small following, but the people who watch them love them. I love them because it's Rob Zombie. The actors, they're not afraid to do some weird fucking shit. That's why I like them. I don't think Dylan's watched any of them. There's like House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's 3.
Yeah, I don't recall if I've ever seen any of those.
What do you mean you hate Sherry Moon Zombie? Come on, dude. She's like the main bitch in every fucking Rob Zombie film, and I think in every film that he does, he like tries to get some sort of way where you see her boobies, because Rob Zombie has an obsession with his wife's boobies in film. Oh man. Oculus. That movie, I will say, was probably the last film that's like a horror film that really got me. I was super interested in it. It's about like this haunted mirror. It's kind of been, this family bought this mirror when they were kids, and their dad like killed their mom, and as they grow up as adults and they buy the mirror, that way they can destroy it, and then the same shit happens. They have to fight the mirror sort of scenario.
Yeah, like they do things without knowing they're doing things.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's a
oh
psycho
man,
horror.
yeah, like they don't even remember standing right in front of the mirror before the axe comes down and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's crazy.
Or like they think they're eating a light bulb, but like the mirror's just fucking with them, and they're eating an apple, and like, oh okay, so they take another bite
Mm.
of the apple, and then they're holding a light bulb. I was like,
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah,
no,
it's pretty good.
fucked me up, big time. But I will say that's a really well done movie. the Oculus is probably one of the better horror movies out there. Chainsaw Massacre is whatever. I know that one's based on like a real kind of situation. They monsterfied a real life event. And that I feel kind of a weird way about that. Um, it's like, should we really be making a horror film about something that happened? That's kind of fucked,
Mhm.
really. It's like, not really respectful to the people who had to live through that. Um, so I don't know, and that's just like another gore thing, and they like give it like a supernatural effect to it, like all the like classic horror flicks, Freddy, Jason, shit like that. You think movies kind of take away from the real pain that happens? No, I think it gives it, um, fucking just, it's just disrespectful. I think kind of
A
like,
really,
go ahead.
uh, one of the really weird genres of horror that was around for a little bit would be the ones around social media. You remember those ones?
Yeah, the fucking there was like that, like what was Skype one or Facebook Live or whatever the fuck it was, and they're
It
like,
was on Skype.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck, dude? It's 2018. Who the fuck still uses Skype?
Or
Um,
like Unfriended was a big one where
yeah,
someone who's supposed to be dead joins the chat or whatever. They're like, "What the?"
yeah,
And they're like, "Who is this?"
that
And
one's not very
everyone
good.
starts slowly dying. Like, I think there was a scene where this one kid sticks his hand in a blender or something. It was,
Yeah.
it was a bad movie.
Um, I will say this. This is this is on the fringes of horror. It's not exactly there, but it's close enough for me because it fucked me up. It fucked me up big time. It's the movie Nerve. It came out in 2016, and it's based off the Blue Whale challenge.
Hmm.
Where people would go download this Blue Whale app, and then it'd be like, it would give you like mundane dares, and then it'd kind of turn up the heat. Um, and it's manipulated by like an anonymous community, shit like that. That movie straight up scares the shit out of me. It's
I've never
it,
seen it.
it doesn't have very good ratings because it's not a very good film. It's got fucking Machine Gun Kelly in it. So do with that with what you will. Uh, I wasn't a huge fan of the actors in it, but the movie scared the piss out of me because of the likelihood and how real it was. Like, I was with a girl at that time, and they didn't think anything of the film. They're like, "Oh, that film kind of sucked." And I was like, "That movie scared the shit out of me." I was like, "The reality of that actually happening is pretty fucking close to being what we are today." I was like, it literally just needs to become an app, and then it can happen. Like, that's it. I was like, the internet, it makes shit like that very possible. Um,
Uh, and speaking of horror movies based on creepypastas, the Slender Man movie or movies, I guess there were more than one, I
what?
think, uh, or more than one more than one studios tried to make a movie based on Slender Man, but
Hmm.
it was uh, it was an okay horror movie. I mean, it was the acting was awful, so I kind of drew away from it. And I think the best part about that movie was their design of Slender Man,
Yeah.
because like he wasn't actually wearing a suit. It was like a weird fleshy uh suit look-alike. Like from a distance it looks like a suit, but up close you can definitely tell that it's like just different colored fleshy bits.
That's a skin suit. Gotcha.
And yeah, it was
Buffalo Bill type beat.
that was like the only good part about the movie, though. The acting was awful. The
Yeah.
the story was pretty bad. It was it was a very good movie. I think
I
it came out in 2015, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that
2014.
that sounds about right. The game was pretty revolutionary for its time. for like horror games. Like, oh shit, okay. And then fucking every horror game became Slenderman practically. It's like, oh, you're in the forest and you got to go collect things, and that's how you get out.
Mm.
Um, uh, Kind of along the same lines of like fringe horror movies. Like, it's not exactly a horror film, but it is kind of scary in a sense. The Hannibal movies, like
Mm.
Silence of the Lambs. It's just kind of fucky, kind of how real that is. The person who wrote like the Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs, like they did a good job. It's technically a crime movie, detective movie, but it's still pretty psycho horror in my opinion, because it kind of gets in your head of like, is Hannibal gonna get escape, and he's escaped? What are they gonna do now? Sort of scenario. Like, oh shit, that's fucked up. Oh my goodness, dude. Um, Koreans need to calm the fuck down with their horror films. Those things are I have yet to see a bad Korean horror film. I'm gonna be honest with you. Train to Busan, which is like a zombie horror film.
That's a pretty good movie.
That movie's pretty damn good. It's good acting, good makeup, good effects, uh, just straight up good cinematography. That movie is kind of fucked. I'm gonna say that a lot during this podcast. This is kind of fucked. Um, but there's another one called Parasite. Um,
Yeah, Parasite's like pretty fucked as well. But
there's no other way to
it's
describe
so,
it.
yeah, and there's a reason why this film like won Film of the Year or whatever
Oh
during
yeah.
that year, because it is very good,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got a lot of like commentary on Korean society and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But the horror aspects are also very much there, and very much like that would be a super scary situation. But,
Yeah,
it's good.
Koreans, they've been popping off on the horror scene. But Koreans been popping off on everything. If you don't watch K drama, you probably should, because that shit gets all right. It's good. It doesn't matter if it's like a romance drama or if it's an action drama. Fucking, I've been watching this one where it's practically R.I.P.D. but it's Korean, and it's like using their shit. Fucking delicious and everything that it's in. It's like there was one scene I was bawling, dude. Oh my god. There's this old man and the Reapers came for him, and like when it's your day to die, you finally see the Reapers walking around. He goes, "So I guess it's my time, huh?" And they go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, before I go, let me finish my run." And this dude just like walks around the town that he lives in, and he picks up trash and whatnot. And he has no family, he has no friends. Like nobody in the community recognizes him. And they go through the day, and they show him a good time. And he finishes his run, and the sun's about to set. He goes, I just want to watch the sunset one more time. So they take him out and they let him watch the sunset. And then they're like, you know what? Do you want to have dinner? He goes, yeah, I'd love to have dinner. So they go back to his place and they have dinner. And he's just like, um, I kind of wish that my life didn't turn out the way that it did. I've been collecting trash ever since I got back from the war. And like it does like a flashback and shit. And he goes, "There's no one here to see me off. No one's gonna give me a funeral when I pass." And so the Reapers, they call in all the Reapers that they can, and they step outside. And the dude, I'm getting chills just talking about it, because I'm envisioning that. I'm getting teary eyed. He like walks out of his house, and all the Reapers and like Reapers are like people who like dress up in nice suits. Like it's not like scary shit. And like he walks outside, and all the Reapers are there, and like they all salute, and like there's like all the way down the street to like where the portal is to the afterlife, just almost like a mile's worth of people on both sides just saluting him and thanking him for his service and for being a good person, sort of scenario. Dude, I was crying. I was bawling. Koreans need to calm the fuck down. That's all I gotta say. Their movies are so good, dude. Um, I think they do. I think they do like demon possession movies a lot better than Americans do. Like I think a lot of people have seen The Exorcist. Um, me and Dylan were talking about The Nun for a second off the stream before we started. There are a lot of like demon Korean films that do it significantly better than any American film that I've seen. Is because half the time it's just like, normally you get like a priest in and yada yada yada. American films just follow the same shit because The Exorcist started it. Korean films, nah, they don't fuck with that. You're possessed, you're dead. That's it. You're gonna fuck everyone up around you, and they might get out, maybe. Yeah, but when me and Dylan went and watched John Wick 4, there were two horror movies on the previews. One was called The Pope's Exorcist, which I'm kind of interested in seeing.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
I don't know if I'll go to the movie theater to watch it though. This last experience was pretty bad, considering like you're like, oh yeah, well we'll watch the later viewing, whatever, and then found out that the previews are up to like 40 minutes now before the movie starts.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then they're doing another Evil Dead movie, and it is super gory. I know we talked about this last podcast, right? But the cheese grater scene.
Yeah, that's just Evil Dead though. It's always super gory.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so there's like the OG Evil Dead, right, from 1984, 86, and that kind of set the standard for like cult scary movies. It's like, oh, it's super gory, and the chick gets like molested by demon vines and shit like that. It's fucked up, and she gets possessed through penetration. I don't fucking know, man. The Mechanomicon is weird. But like the remake of Evil Dead, I really did enjoy it. I thought they did a good job remaking it. And like she like licks a knife with the blade side facing her tongue, and it splits her tongue. I thought that shit was dope as hell. I was like, how did they record that? What of that is CGI and what of that is not? I thought that was pretty fucking dope. But this new one, I don't know if I want to watch it.
Yeah, that cheese grater scene was just, oh my, that was too much.
I already know, like, if I was sitting in the theater and like people were like intently watching it, I know the only thing when that scene comes up or any scene is probably, oh fuck. That's probably
and like the scene where the mom, she's possessed and stuff, and she's trying to coerce her child to open the door for her and stuff.
Yeah, that's fucked.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But back to sexually transmitted curses. There's a movie that came out in like 2015 called It Follows.
Never heard of it.
And there's a curse that is passed through from one sexual partner to the next. So whenever someone has sex with someone, they pass this curse. And what this curse does is it causes like a demon to constantly follow you at a constant pace. So like the character's like constantly trying to run away from this and looking out. Like there's a scene in the trailer where the main character looks out over a field and there's like this old grandma just slowly, creepily walking across the field towards her, and she's just like constantly looking back and stuff. It's a cool concept. I don't remember if it's been a while since I've seen this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it was good or not, but it was definitely interesting to have a sexually transmitted demon possession curse or whatever. And nothing would stop this curse either. Like it'll just
no cream,
follow you
no
wherever.
Pill.
No cream, no pill. I don't remember how they beat it. I think they do beat it, but I don't remember how they did it. But it's an interesting movie.
The Candyman, that's a horror film. I remember watching the first one not too long ago, and it's weird. It's not really all that scary. The dude's like, he does shit with bees. but like also has like a meat hook thing. I don't fucking know. And then they recently made a second one, I think with the same actor. And apparently it did pretty well for the people who really enjoyed the Candyman movie. So
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
let's talk about let's talk about a really scary movie. Okay, I'm talking one that chills me to my bones to this day, Dylan.
Hmm.
All right, this is a movie that gives me nightmares. That's Birdemic.
Ah, a classic.
The threat of global warming is real, and the birds will attack, man. Fucking
Oh man,
movie's awful.
the scene where they get in the car and the like very horribly. Oh my god, it
Here,
looks
take a
so
coat
bad.
hanger.
Oh man, that's so bad.
They just find Uzis in a random ass van, you know?
As you do.
No, it's because of global warming, man. The birds, they're trying to rebel. They're trying to fight back. It's like the only way.
That's, that was such a weird movie. Like, what were they thinking when they thought of that? It was so weird.
It was it was trying to show you about global warming, man.
But talking about like actual good horror movies, The Thing. That's a classic.
That is a classic. I haven't watched that in forever.
And there was also a remake which was pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. Maybe my taste in horror movies is skewed a little bit.
Richard says no.
No. Okay. But anyway, it's good classic. You know, always scared of if your friend is not your friend anymore and stuff like that. It's a very it's a concept that I don't think is ever done outside of The Thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because usually it's pretty obvious when like someone's possessed by a demon or something, but in The Thing they just look like a normal person.
Huh.
And it's very good.
It's a little bit different. That's a little bit different than the OG thing, right? OG thing kind of had some shit going on with them.
Well, there were some tells, like they would draw their blood, and if their blood reacted to something, I think you could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, that classic horror films like The Blob, The Fly, The Thing is on there. The Creature from the Swamp, right? All of those are timeless classics. Like they're not scary today, but you know, when you watch them today, it gives you a true appreciation of what horror films were like compared to today. Where like people didn't understand the concept of horror, which is why it worked so well back then. And you know, great. Those movies are untouchable. You can't mess with those. But then like when they redo them, it just is not so good anymore. I'm trying to think. I've watched Jeepers Creepers before. Then I'm not a huge fan. I like the fact that Louis Armstrong did a cover of the song.
Yeah.
That's
the van that drives around and he takes parts of people and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a demon guy who's like in like you can I don't know, like the last time I watched like one of the newer Jeepers Creepers films, there's so many of them. Like he was driving a semi truck, and you know, we've already had the horror films about like cars, right? There was Kate, and then there was monster trucks. I don't think rubber fits in that. That's just about a tire. That film's weird. I don't know. But yeah, any Universal classic horror film. Yeah, agreed. Something to said about the classic horror movies, like the original Dracula, just his cinematography is fantastic. With the things that they did to like record it, like they have like bloopers and stuff that you can watch and behind the scenes stuff still for the original Dracula films, and it's pretty good stuff watching them figure out their aesthetic, the atmosphere.
There's a more recent horror film that is very good. It's made by, I believe it was made by someone who made like an ARG on YouTube, or horror ARG on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie is called Skinamarink.
Yeah, I think it's on the same level as Grim Cuddy.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting movie because it's filmed in a very unique way. Because it's kind of like that analog horror kind of film where it's grainy and it's not filmed in a way that you would expect most movies to be filmed, because you're always like staring at a wall or a ceiling. But it's very, very good. I'm not going to spoil what happens in it, but it's very unique, and that shit is scary. It is it is a very scary movie. It is creepy.
To touch on what Richard said here, 1992 with Gary Oldman is so underrated. Agreed. That movie was really over the top in about everything that they did. I also want to say that Gary Oldman overall is super underrated. The man does not get enough praise for the shit that he does. He's an extremely good actor and everything. He always gives 110%. But I do know that 1992 Dracula with Gary Oldman is significant to me, not because of the film itself or the acting, but because of the costume design. They hired a Japanese fashion artist to develop like all of the stuff. So that's like you see Dracula wearing like a kimono, or like when he puts on his like vampire armor, it's like almost a like a samurai's armor. You know, she incorporated a lot of Japanese culture into the design of the clothing, and but also gave it just enough to be like, you know, kind of fucky. Like his armor looks like meat, you know, like muscle. Very well done, and I know a lot of people don't like it. Yeah, yeah. That film I agree is really underrated. AVGN actually does a really good deep dive on. It's technically it's not AVGN. It's on AVGN's channel, Cinemassacre. Cinemassacre does a really good deep dive into the Universal classic horror films to start, but he also does a deep dive into every Dracula film that's been, well, not every, but like the major Dracula films that's been done. And he talks a lot about the cinematography and about like what they did with it, the differences between like Broker's Dracula between countries. It's a really cool watch. If you haven't watched it, you should. It's always cool to learn about like movie history, in my opinion. Hell, this is a fucking nerd podcast, so if you're surprised that we're talking about like deep dives into like the creation of the horror movie, maybe take a step back and realize where you're at. Skinamarink, that's tomorrow, right? Yeah,
Yes.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, the tomorrow night on the Discord.
I think
Should definitely, if you're into horror movies, should definitely join, because that movie in particular is a recent example of a very good horror movie. So,
yeah, agreed. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just gonna say, normally our VCs are pretty loud and talkative, even during movie night. This movie night's different. We kind of want to keep the suspense going. So I think we're gonna get silence. In fact, I think I might even make a separate VC for that movie night where it's push to talk only. That way people don't have live mics, because some people have a really bad issue with having fans in the background.
yes. sound. Sound is very important in that movie because there's a lot of like creepy sound shit. Since there's not a whole lot of camera work, so
Yeah.
it's important to hear.
A lot of those augmented reality things on YouTube, they're pretty intense. There was this one guy that I was watching for a little bit. He like had these like paper mache, and I think this is the one that Skinamarink is based off of actually. He like had like these paper mache masks that were white with like painted. He painted designs on them with black and whatnot, and you'd see him like have like a trash bag with like black ooze coming out of it, or you'll just like get a scene of like down an alleyway and like him like dragging something across the deal. Not him, but like the demon that's supposedly like haunting him sort of scenario. I'm pretty sure that that's the augmented reality that the Skinamarink is based off of. I don't know. I haven't seen Skinamarink yet, but from what I've heard, I think that is the influence, or at least the person that did it. But
yeah, from what I remember, I don't remember who it is, but I know it's someone who does analog horror a lot on YouTube, and he's like super famous. But I don't remember. Yeah,
It's got bad ratings right now. It's at a 2.2.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think people are just hating to hate.
Well, it's a very unique experience, so that's
Kyle
yeah.
Edward Ball is the guy who does it. And he has a YouTube channel where he would upload videos based on nightmares recounted by comments. He had a short film called Heck that was developed for a proof of concept for Skinamarink. There's that. I wonder if that's on YouTube. If so, depending on how long it is, I think we could probably write out today's podcast on Heck. I think that would be pretty okay to do.
That sounds heckin' good.
It's 28 minutes. Oof.
Yeah.
28 minutes. Maybe
might be.
It's bite-sized nightmares. Let's do
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people really want jump scary fun or horror movies and not the just creepy as fuck and just always has you on the edge of the seat kind of horror movies. I feel like people don't really want the good stuff. They want the easy, quick scare stuff.
Okay, I found one of his YouTube videos here called Nightmare 2 Sound in the Hall. So let me make some adjustments here on the dealio. Oh, it's still playing music. There we go. All right, and let me do this. Move this over here. We're doing it live, folks.
This is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Where's the laugh track? All right, and let me go over here to boom. Look at that. We're in the film now. And as everyone can tell, look at that. We got white text now on the game screen. So this is Nightmare 2 Sound in Hell. The YouTube channel is Bite-Sized Nightmares if you want to check out the guy who made Skinamarink. Let's check this out.
This video is based on a comment user Trivy left on the subreddit Short Horror about a nightmare they had.
Yeah, there's double audio, I think.
I would be lying in bed and I
Unless
would
it's
just
supposed to
hear
have double
this.
audio.
Oh. I don't have double audio on my bit. A double audio? Okay, hold up. Where would I have double audio at? Oh, is it coming? It's probably coming through. No, it would show that was coming in on my headphone.
Hmm.
How about now? Oh, I see it. I see it.
You see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
And then there would just be silence, as if whatever it is standing there waiting for me to make a sound so that it knows I'm there and I'm not asleep.
That fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And that's kind of you can that's Skinamarink pretty. Still going?
Yeah. Got about a minute left. Oh god, I hate that.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Damn, dude.
If you have a nightmare that you...
That's messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell that Skinamarink was made by the same person who made that, because there's a lot of similar stuff in Skinamarink. It's very, very like it'll edge you sometimes, like, oh, is something going to happen? And then it's so good. You got to watch it.
Yeah, I think the best kind of horror is where the audience is anticipating a jump scare and you edge them. You don't give it to them at all. And you know, that's the way to keep them encapsulated there in that moment. You know, I want to do another one. This one's right here. We'll go ahead and watch Nightmare 4 Night Drive, because I know when I was a little kid and like we'd be driving through like cornfields at night, I'd always imagine like this like shadow figure like running through the corn trying to keep up with the car. So I'm always like afraid of like some dude jumping out in front of the car and then like stopping it. I don't know. I could yeah. I can get behind these. Let me go ahead. Not with this account. Hold on. Oh. Boop. Let me subscribe to this guy.
Thank you for everyone who liked and subscribed. This next video was commented by Reddit user Brenval.
It's a little loud.
A little bit, not too bad.
focus on the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck?
Just a dude just sitting on the side of the road.
Nah, that's a Gasset moment. You see anybody dressed in all black just chilling on the side of the road, that's a leave them there.
Hmm. To go a little faster.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay, you got me. Piece of shit. You got me. I was like, oh, okay. You know, just the suspense of some weird guy. It's like, oh no, he's definitely attacking. Yep, that's
Yep.
one of my worst fears. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, this guy does a damn good job at conveying horror. ASMR
Yeah,
hot
it's good stuff.
volcanic sand bath massage. That sounds pretty scary.
ASMR in general is scary, so.
It is for Richard, especially when you're eating food.
Love those mouth noises.
Dude, I can't stand mukbangs. Those legitimately are nightmare fuel for me. Like people just like stuffing
Slurping down
themselves.
shit. Oh man.
And like Korean mukbangs specifically, they got like these seafood animal parts, like whole ass octopuses, and they're just nope.
So, and
I'm
it's
just gonna-
like dipping it in like pools of sauce and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's fucking disgusting. So check this guy out, Bite Size Nightmares. This is the same guy who made the movie Skinamarink. There's a lot of people out there that make like these horror short videos on YouTube. This guy apparently has a lot. If you're into like top 5 stuff, there's Nuke's Top 5. It's pretty good. I watch him a lot. Don't watch Chills. You'll regret it. Number 15.
Number 15. Yeah. It's
Oh man, let's take a look at the
they've both been memed quite a bit though.
Nuke's Top 5 is still pretty respectable. He's always like pretty unbiased on there. He goes, "Oh, look at this fucking ghost." He's like, "What do you think this is? Tell me in the comments." I'm like, "Okay. All right, I feel it's like that one was definitely fake, but I can
Ooh.
see how it's close." Mandela catalog is the only thing
Wait.
that comes close to speak, like the Mandela
Did you see
Mandela
that?
effect. Did you just see that?
Let's slow it down and look closely
And
at
then,
the
like-
white dot going through the screen.
And then like it zooms up and it's some dude's ass in a red circle. No, Mandela effects are weird too. Yeah. Those don't like the people been freaking out about the
Mandela
Bernstein
catalog.
Bears, you know.
This is a different thing.
Oh,
This is
Oh.
a YouTube series.
Well,
Mandela
you know.
catalog. Not
I'm
the
sure
Mandela effect.
I'm sure it's based off the same thing. Maybe, I don't know. But I'll say the Mandela effect kind of fucks me up. I know a lot of people get fucked up by it, but I'll take a look at the Mandela catalog for sure. It's been a long time since I watched like horror ARGs on YouTube.
There's a lot of good ones out there.
That shit was dumb.
Hmm.
You know, well, don't let people influence. I mean, it might be bad, but you should also develop opinion for yourself. Maybe it's worth the watching. It maybe it might scare you. Um,
Some things can be bad, so bad that they're good. So you got to keep that in mind,
yeah, for sure.
especially with horror movies.
I can't. I can't say that I've had like a actual Nexpo. Nexpo fucks me up. The dude like sometimes he'll like cover things um like scary stories from Reddit where it's like people's actual like recorded videos. Like the dude shows like this dude going to like this ranch out of nowhere from like geocaching or shit like he's never seen again. Like real life shit that fucks me up every time. Like people going missing, like missing people files. No thanks. I
Hmm.
that literally scares the
Yeah,
piss
the
out of me.
missing 411 or whatever, where people just vanish on
Mm,
like hiking trails and stuff.
mm. Yeah, yep. I don't like those. Um, the there's a movie about Japan's suicide forest. That
Mm.
movie's pretty. Yep. I don't have the words, but yep. Oh man, there's a lot of good stuff out there. Beneath all of the shit, there is a
There's
lot
a
of
lot of shit.
there's a
There's a
lot of
lot of
good
shit.
stuff. You just have to you got to go through the shit that floats and find the shit that sinks. You know. um, but yeah. So if you want to check out Skinamarink, join the Discord. We'd love to have you. We're watching that Sunday night at I'll give you a specific time even. Sunday night at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the Discord. And looking, since we're talking about horror films, maybe we should kind of cut into someone playing a horror game. There's this new horror game out called Demonologist. I don't know anything about it. Um, and I don't know. Yeah, yep. I just don't know
Uh,
much about it.
Demonologist?
Yeah, it. I don't. It looks like someone is trying to get a demon from a house,
Hmm.
and that's it.
Oh yeah, I know what Demonologist is really good actually. It's really good.
That's trying to find
It's like a phasmophobia game, but more
solo.
scary.
Yeah,
Well, it's still got multiplayer.
I don't know, man. I don't know who I want to pop into. I'm always afraid that I'm gonna pop into some guy who's like super fucking. "Ugh. Oh, this person's just like Rich. That says English, Indonesia, Asian, chill. No, 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 no. That I feel like that'll be like broken English and hard to interact with. I'm gonna pick Saturdays are for the boys. We're gonna go with this guy right here. Pause. And la, da, da, da. So, thanks everybody for watching today's podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. I know we were kind of all over the place, but um, horror movies aren't exactly our forte, but it is kind of fun to talk about them. I think there's more enjoyment on riffing on bad horror films together than there is just like discussing this and that. I guess if we
Hmm.
if we wanted to, we could do a deep dive on like Universal classic films. To do that, though, I'd really like to watch a handful of them before we do the podcast. So I think next week we'll probably be doing kung fu movies. I wanted to do it this week, but me and Dylan hadn't got the chance to watch any kung fu movie. I know we're wanting to watch the Ip Man movies, probably not the whole series, but maybe like one or two of them. I know Drunken Fist with Jackie Chan is one that people want us to watch. I mean,
Hmm.
there's a gratuitous amount of kung fu movies out
Yeah,
there.
there's a
So,
lot of really good ones.
with that being said, we're gonna raid I don't even know how to say this guy. Exhale Blood 90. He's got 3 viewers. So hopefully we make his night better, and hopefully he's a chill guy. I'll say that. So stick around for just a moment. Say hi. Slap an emote in there. Rich's emote if you have some of Rich's emotes. I don't have any emotes yet. I'm working on it. I promise. But yeah. Thanks.